like that. That feels like we're just waking up. This sounds like a great way to start the day. Shout out to my man Ron Oliver for, of course, the morning mixes that he ends up having for us. So hello, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear. Well, he's back at the man cave holding down the fort. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. And make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe, as we're going to bring you all the news of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm here at the Red Brick House, where we, of course, are rebuilding a piece of history here, and we'll be able to bring you all kinds of content from here, as well as Joe Boo's Man Cave, as we get ready for this 2023 season. And I don't know about you, but I am so hyped up right now about the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like things are falling in place for the Cowboys. It's almost comical. Here's the thing that, and you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen. Here's the thing that's so funny. When we have people, they say we need to get rid of them. That's what all the talking heads will tell you. Oh my God, they just need to move on from this guy. They got to get rid of him. When we get rid of them, then they're going to say, oh my God, how could you do that? And they will pump this person up to make them the greatest thing in the world. You know, it's kind of like Dan Orlovsky admitted a few years ago that we can take numbers and prove any narrative that we want. And they are guilty of doing that, because that's what they do. They will trash a player when they're here, and then when they're gone, they're going to be the greatest thing that ever lived. So we know that's how it is. We just know that's how it always is. Anyway, regardless of that, we know that now that Zeke Elliott is signed with New England, it's going to be, oh, the Cowboys screwed up so bad. How could they move on from Zeke Elliott? You know, they could have signed him and made that team-friendly deal now. He only signed for a maximum of $6 million. The Cowboys are stupid. In the same way they're saying, you know, we're going to miss Dalton Schultz, okay, even though Jake Ferguson looks like he's the real deal. But I'm happy that we got Zack Martin signed. It was hilarious just watching Get Up in the Morning and all the shows, because it was the doom and gloom and so on about Zack Martin. Oh my God, Jerry Jones says they're not going to sign. It's like, y'all really going to take the bait? Y'all really going to take the bait? You know, Jerry Jones, one of his most famous quotes is, I like to stir shit up. I like to stir shit up. Because everybody's going through, and it's funny, we're going to watch a segment from Get Up this morning where the lady's going to go, well, Jerry Jones lied to us. Really? 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 Okay. Yeah. That's what Jerry Jones does to you. He didn't become one of the richest people in the world by not stirring shit up. But Zack Martin is now back where he belongs with the Dallas Cowboys. Now the third highest paid guard. Basically, they took the $26 million that he had left on his deal, added another $10 million, and that 26 was not guaranteed. Added another $10 million to it and guaranteed it. So they still technically can let him go in 2 years. So from that standpoint, and I can't wait to see how the numbers actually work out. It has not come out officially, the breakdown of the numbers on the cap. And you know the Cowboys, just like everybody, it's creative. It's not that it's going to be an $18 million cap hit this year. It's not going to be that, okay? It will probably be somewhere close to where he was before, or maybe even a little bit less. But when it does come out, we will talk about it. So now here's the thing. Without Zack Martin, if you remember Tom Cruise movie, he says, with me, without me. With me, without me. With Zack Martin, you're up here. Without Zack Martin, we were down here. Now you look at our offensive line, and as it's currently constructed, Tyron Smith, left tackle. Tyron Smith, when healthy, is one of the best tackles in football. Tyler Smith, going into his second year, playing guard, can be a mauler. It's not as much pressure being the left guard as it is being the left tackle. He can feast and be a road grader. Biotish, coming off of his first Pro Bowl season, definitely getting better and better each year. Zack Martin, all world. Actually, you know what? He's not all world. He's all universe, okay? He's one of the best guards in the universe. So you got Zack Martin. And then you got Terrence Steele, the undrafted rookie free agent, who turned out to be a really good player, who they're talking about having a $50 million contract, although he's coming back from an ACL injury, but we're told that it's good to go.
Paramount to this team's success.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you
Sorry, I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to lose it because we're going to go to that in a minute. So if that's the starting offensive line and they're healthy, we are good to go. But herein lies the problem. Are we putting too much faith in Tyron Smith staying healthy? Are we going to roll the dice and say this year he's going to stay healthy the whole season? That's a scary proposition. We didn't get out of training camp last year, friends, without his hamstring literally ripping off the bone. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of Tyron Smiths floating around. Now, the good news at least is you can kick Tyler Smith to tackle. He'll probably be more effective than he was last year. That's good. You can bring in Matt Wielensko to be the starter. Not as good as Tyler Smith, but okay. You got Josh Ball, who they played at tackle, but looks like they're kind of working him in a guard. This is the problem now is if Tyron Smith gets hurt or when Tyron Smith gets hurt, our offensive line takes a major hit. And that's the scary part about this. You look at this team from top to bottom, it's not as good as, say, the 2015-16 offensive line. Not by any stretch of imagination. But you look at the defense and say it's miles ahead. You look at the receiving corps. If Jalen Tolbert is as good as we saw the other night, if Michael Gallup is back, you have to look at it and say this is the best complete receiving corps the Cowboys have had. Dak Prescott, of course, people are going to say he's a bum because that's what they do on ESPN, which is just like a fish flopping around out of water because they're flopping around with different, they're just flopping. They're just flopping. This is the best team constructed, at least on paper, and all of those bets are off once the season starts because you don't know which way the ball is going to bounce. You don't know who's going to get injured. But you look at this to start the season, they're in a good spot. Again, for me, the worry is the offensive line. Unfortunately, not too many people are looking to get rid of good starting caliber offensive linemen at this time of the year. Just not. Those guys are few and far between. We're looking at Jason Peters. Forgot who Jason Peters is. Somebody's looking at right now. So that lets you know there's not a lot of guys left out there when a 41-year-old tackle who was only a part-time player is still getting interviews. Let's go to Get Up and see how they feel with the egg on their face this morning, shall we? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go.
guards hold out. According to Shefty, the deal takes Martin from being the 8th highest paid guard in the NFL to the 3rd. Now he's going to have to pay a $50,000 fine for his holdout, but he got exactly what he wanted in the end. Originally, none of his next 2 years were guaranteed. He'll still be a free agent after 2024, and you see all that money now becomes guaranteed. So it's interesting, Mark. And it was not, I feel like it was like a week ago. Jerry Jones, what was he telling us?
Why would Jerry be telling us that he's broke?
You took the bait.
Yeah, Jerry was lying. That's the reality. Because I think the lesson here for people to understand is there is money when they want to pay you, when they value, when you are a difference maker, when you're generational, when they see you, they see your value, they will find money somehow.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Thank you.
My God. Oh, well, Zack made money on his first deal. Jerry understands, oh, wait a minute. We opened the season against the Giants and the Jets. We need our offensive line to be intact. And I think this is a wonderful thing. The Martin family group chat, Sean and Poppin, we are very happy for Zack because, in my opinion,
He got paid. Of course we're happy.
Paramount to this team's success.
Well, I mean, you went so far as to say this morning in our meeting you think he might be the most important player on that whole team.
Yeah, I think he is. Because I get it, and this is no shade to Michael Parsons, who is phenomenal in his own right. But if Dak Prescott were to take the field in week 1, and Zack Martin is not there, I don't care Tony Pollard, it's not going to work. This offense, whatever, aggressive but efficient, all that, it's down the tubes. Because we talk so much, we saw this the first week of preseason. Offensive line, it's games you run in the trenches. And if you have any questions on your offensive line, you're in trouble. And I think Zack Martin, he is the guy in that.
And the game sort of evolves and changes all the time. And I'm not suggesting offensive tackle isn't still paramount, but the way the game is played now with these defensive tackles who put pressure on the quarterback's face immediately and disrupt everything, those interior linemen, I think, are more focused on than ever. So, Tim, how do we sum up the significance of this? 2 days ago, it looked like we were in real trouble on Zack Martin. Now all is well. How would you put into words the importance of this?
Well, it's certainly important. He's an excellent player, and really, this made so much sense for both sides, right? Like the Cowboys need him, and this was getting really expensive.
You think they need
for
him?
Zack Martin in terms of holding out? I don't care how much money he's made. You start racking up $50,000 a day that doesn't get forgiven. Like that's a problem. So it makes sense for both sides. He's an excellent player. If they want to run the football more, which is been the
ultimate goal
since Kellen Moore was, they parted ways with Kellen Moore. Like the reality is, like they needed this to happen. It made sense for Zack Martin. They're a better team for it. Listen, I'm not going to say that he's the most important player on their Cowboys team. Pretty sure that's the quarterback still. Feel pretty confident about that. But ultimately, yeah, this is good for Dallas.
Okay, so let me just look this up. So the quarterback on our team says that the quarterback is the most important player on their team. Let's write that down.
He does touch the ball every snap. Like I'm just saying this, like he does touch the ball and make a decision every single down.
The quarterbacks are hilarious to me, Tim, because whenever bad things happen, I always hear from you how it's a dependent position, right? Well, the quarterback can't do everything, and then all of a sudden, that's not. Who cares about the guard? We need the quarterback one way or another. Dak Prescott can't do his thing. Tony Pollard can't do his thing. Mike McCarthy can't do his thing. None of them can do a thing without Zack Martin on the field.
I think when you look at Zack Martin, I think the thing that sticks out to me is consistency, right? And a guy that's been tough, a guy that's been disciplined, a guy that you can count on. When you have that guy and he's done all those things for your organization, I think it's right by Jerry Jones to help pay that player. But I'm going to add a commandment. Thou shalt not talk salary cap anymore to me. Because what I've been learning the last 2 years is that there are ways to finesse that salary cap to get paid. Right. I don't want to hear anything about no salary cap anymore.
Right. No, so what you're saying, no, I like that. Pick up on that thought a little bit. That Jerry Jones literally looked right at us. He looked us right in the face. And he said, well,
right in the face.
And I can't do an imitation of it.
And now I do. I gotta pay mine.
I gotta get that money for Mike. We talk about Michael Parsons' money here. We done paid him.
If they want to pay Zack Martin, they will pay Zack Martin.
They're going to figure out a way to get it done. It's different ways. You can alter people's contract, but they always have the money. They just say they don't because they're billionaires, and that's how they're trained.
It's still a salary cap. It's not.
They don't have money because they want to keep it, but they have money to pay people if they really want.
Okay, we can stop right there. Actually, here's the thing. It's not that wasn't coming out of Jerry Jones' pocket. Remember, there is a certain amount of money you need to spend, and the Cowboys have more money than anybody else. So it's not a matter of now Jerry Jones has got to, take out a second on the yacht or something, to pay Zack Martin. It's not the case. They've got that money because of the amount of money that they make. Okay, so we're good. They got egg on their face. We all got egg on our face. Jerry Jones done stirred this shit up and made us all look like fools, as always. All right, good people. I got a lot of work to do here getting ready for my occupancy inspections for tomorrow. So I'm going to get to work. Peace.